What is up, everyone? My name is Mr. J, and today I am bringing you a Digimon deck profile, the first of EX10. We are doing BlackWarGreymon Black Base. So this is my build. This is what I've been playtesting. You guys are free to mention suggestions if you want in the comment section down below, but this is my current build. This is what I'm going to take the tournament. And yeah, let's get right into it. First off, our eggs. Obviously, we're playing red base. So we are playing the BT5 Koromon. It's just when attacking as Greymon or Omnimon, draw a card. You could play the new Koromon, but again, this is red base, so you might have some difficulty with, since we're playing the Agumon X antibody from BT9. All right, so that's why when we're playing the Koromon from BT5, since it's red. You could also play the Koromon that's just when an opponent's security is checked, you draw one card. That also works. But this one, it's like whether you're attacking a Digimon, whether you're attacking a player, you get to draw, which is what I like. So those are our eggs, only 4. And for our rookies, we are playing 4 of the BT12 Agumon, 4 of the Agumon X antibody from BT9, and then 3 copies of the new boy Agumon from EX10. So I want to stop for a second to talk about these choices. This is probably the best one. That's why I'm playing at 4 copies. It's just on play, search top 4 pretty deep. And you get to either add Greymon, something with Greymon in its name, or Omnimon, and a Taikamiya, which we are playing copies of Taikamiya. So you can get 2 hits. Inheritables, also very important. All turns, if it has Omnimon or Greymon in the name, gain 1k. All turns is pretty good, especially since we're a defensive deck. So best one for sure. Then our Agumon X antibody, no inheritable, but we are playing the BT9 Greymon for protection purposes. So this is a mandatory 4 of. It also is pretty good for searching. Honestly, it's a good searcher. And the last one, the new one from EX10, is the Agumon. Starting your main phase, you get to return one of your virus trait Digimon with Greymon in its name. So it's really good because it can pick up the whole line from EX10 technically, right? The level 4, the level 5, and BlackWarGreymon Ace. So it's kind of like a scramble in a sense. So I love promoting this guy, and if you have 3 memory, you can pretty much go into the 4, go into the EX10, taunt your opponent, and then you can go into your Ace, right? So he's really good, and I actually really like, again, the all turns effect. This Digimon gets 1k DP. It's actually interesting because the old Agumon, it has to be Greymon or Omnimon in the name. And the new Agumon is just inheritable, gains 1k, all turns. So it's pretty good. Yeah, there are several options that you can pick. You can pick like the BT14, I believe. Yeah, BT14 Agu, which lets you Digivolve into Greymon for free if you control Taikamiya. Tamer with Taikamiya in the name. Right? Yeah. And it's good. It has the your turn effect, inheritable. This Digimon gets 2k if it has Greymon or Omnimon in the name. You can play this instead of the Agumon from EX10, but like I said, I really like recurring pieces from the trash, especially mid to late game, because this is technically a mid-rangey deck, you know? So I like the Agumon from EX10, but it's up to you. You could also play the Agumon from the starter deck, which gains you a memory. But again, this is a black base, so you would not be able to Digivolve that Agumon from the starter deck that's black on top of the BT9 Greymon. So that's why we're not playing it. So let's go ahead and move on. These are our rookies. We can go ahead and put them together here. So again, move on. All right, for our champs, we are playing 4 BT12 Greymon, 4 Greymon X antibody from BT9, and then 1 Greymon X antibody, of course, because it's limited to 1. So here's where I'll talk about the champions. I am playing 4 BT12 Greymon because not on play. I wish it was on play. But when Digivolving, if you don't have a Tamer with Taikamiya in its name, you may play one Tamer with Taikamiya in its name from your hand without paying the cost. Now that BlackWarGreymon is in the meta, he's going to be blowing up your Taikamiyas if you're playing the mirror match. So if he blows up your Taikamiya, no biggie, come out of raising, Digivolve into Greymon, play another Taikamiya from your hand without paying the cost, right? Because now you don't control one, so you can play one for free. It's up to you. You can play the new one that has raid, and I will put it up on the screen. You can play the 4 cost that has raid, or yeah, on play when Digivolving gains plus 3k. And the inheritable has the same inheritable effect. Obviously, it's kind of like the Agumon, where it's just all turns as Digimon gains 1k. So if you want to play the raid one, it is good board control, but I like prioritizing spitting out my Tamers. So BT12 Greymon for me. Next up, Greymon X Antibody. I've seen a lot of people and they play BlackWarGreymon Ace at like 2 copies, and they start playing the Gaiomon because they're like, oh, BlackWarGrey Ace is not that it's not the best. Like, he has no protection. It's really hard to meet like that certain threshold where, you know, he's only protected if your opponent has Digimon with 13k or more. How about you play Greymon X Antibody so you give him some more protection in general, right? Because there are level 6s that are 11k, that are 12k, that can mess you up, right? If you don't have protection. This is the only good thing about playing red base, is that if you play black base, you can't really consistently play Greymon X Antibody from BT9 because this guy only digivolves on red, right? He can't digivolve on top of black. It's very unfortunate. I wish it just said Agumon in name. It would have been perfect and I could play black base because I do love black base. But yeah, you want the protection. He's in there for the protection. We are playing 1 copy of Greymon X Antibody from BT11. It's up to you. You can cut this guy. That way you have 8 champions, but I like the extra champion. I like 9 just for, so I don't brick, right? So 9 champions, of course, Greymon X Antibody. Reduce the evil cost. Everything in your deck for your level 5s is going to be 1 cost, essentially. But also, spoiler, we are not playing Greymon X Antibody, or I mean, we're not playing the X Antibody option card in this deck because we don't need it. Here's our level 4s. Our level 5s, we are playing 4 copies of the new Metal Greymon from EX10 and 4 Rise Greymon from BT22. And I forgot Metal Greymon, all Terrace mode. So first off, this guy, really good. You don't need a stack, you just play him, and then on play, he gives one of your opponent's Digimon collision, and starting your main phase, this Digimon attacks. So he forces, he taunts, right? And then obviously your opponent swings at security, you can then ace them. I expect this guy to be played outside of Greymon decks, even though he is for the Digivolve on red and black, because he is a sideboard, right? So yeah. The inheritable effect, I'm not sure if I really like it because it's opponent's turn, once per turn. When an attack target changes, if this Digimon has Greymon in its name, you trash your opponent's security card, your top security card. I wish it said all turns, like when you delete a Digimon, trash the security, but it's only on opponent's turn, which really sucks because BlackWarGreymon Ace does not have piercing. So it sucks. You'll notice that you are missing the BT12 Metal Greymon. I do think this guy's pretty good because inheritable, it does have piercing, right? It has raid, so it triggers your other effects. And when an attack target is switched, you get to play a Tamer, black or red Tamer, 4 cost or less for free. Now, I did switch out this Metal Greymon from BT12 for the Rise Greymon from BT22. The reason I did this is because this guy also has raid. So it kind of meets the conditions for raid for the Tamers, and you'll see what I mean in a second. But when Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers in play from your hand, you can play either a red or black Tamer that's 4 cost or less, or a Tamer with the CS trait. So point being, he's gonna spit out a Tamer. Most likely either the Taikamiya, of course, because we only run 2, the Taikamiya or the Yuko. But I am prioritizing playing the Tamers because I do think the Tamers are important in this deck. If you're playing the mirror match, you guys are going to be blowing each other's Tamers up. It makes sense that you're consistently spitting out your Tamers because I think the Tamers are going to win what's going to win you in the mirror match in general. So just keep that in mind. But if you want, like I said, you could play the BT12 Metal Greymon. What I don't like is that when Digivolving is technically faster than when attacking, always has been. So when digivolving, play a Tamer is much faster than when attacking, play a Tamer, right? And then you have to make, you don't even know if this guy's gonna live. So there's that. Plus, inheritable sec +1 is really nice. Once you're applying pressure, you can go ahead and start swinging your opponent's security, and they'll have to respond to your Digimon. You can cut this guy if you want for another piece, but I love the Alteris mode just in case you miss Greymon X antibody from BT9 in the stack. You can go ahead and Digivolve. Sometimes they don't expect it. You can go ahead and Digivolve this on top of the Metal Greymon, pop something, and then go into BlackWarGreymon Ace. The other thing is if your opponent chooses to de-Digivolve you, like say if you're playing against Beelzemon, right? Beelzemon will most likely be able to delete Metal Greymon. If you Digivolve on top of him into Alteris mode and then BlackWarGreymon Ace, then, and you have BT9 Greymon in the stack, then technically when Beelzemon de-Digivolves you, you will lose 4 memory, but you will keep your stack because if he attempts to blow up Metal Greymon, you can go ahead and detach 2, right? If you have the protection requirements. So there's that. I like the Alteris mode. Plus, for some reason, when I play WarGreymon, bro, I have a hard time seeing the level 5s. So yeah, these are my level 5s. I run 9. You can cut 1 down if you want, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people like to play 7, but I think that's crazy. So these are my champions, or my ultimates, my bad. Moving on to my level 6s. So we have 4 copies of the new BlackWarGreymon Ace, and then 1 copy of WarGreymon. So BlackWarGreymon Ace, Blast Digivolve, has Raid, Reboot, and Blocker. And when Digivolving or on play, it deletes a Tamer, pretty much 7 cost or less. Ironically, or unironically, it can also blow up another BlackWarGreymon, right? If you just hard play it, then he's 12k, not 13k, so he can blow up another BlackWarGreymon, which is pretty cool. I love the boss Digimon. I think he's worthy of 4 copies, to be honest, because I love Black Base in general, or like WarGreymon, but I don't like the OTK style. I really love controlling the board. So that's what this guy does. I really love the Ace. I'm excited to play him, to be honest. He's going to be one of my main decks this format for sure. Probably into BT23, to be honest. The same way. And then my supporting Mega is 1 copy of WarGreymon from BT12. Just, it has Raid, so it can trigger, you know, your Yuko or your Tai Kamiya from the starter deck. It's when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 3k DP and Reboot. And then all turns, once per turn, when attack target is switched, you can unsuspend this Digimon. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of playing this for the mirror match because he's always going to be bigger than the BlackWarGreymon Ace, technically, like as long as you outpace them with the Tamers. Now BlackWarGreymon is going to gain 3k, he's going to gain 3k, so they'll both be 15. It depends on who has the better inheritables, right? And that's why I'm not playing any of the memory gainers, because I think you just need to be beefy, bro. Beefy as hell, and yeah, just beat over other beefy Digimon. But it's up to you. You can play the Gaiomon from BT22, or you can play the promo Gaiomon. I tested the promo Gaiomon and I tested the BT22 Gaiomon. I don't really like them because they can only get rid of 1 body. I mean, technically, Gaiomon from the promo Gaiomon doesn't get rid of any bodies. He just comes out, you pay 5 memory for him, and he forces your opponent to attack, you know, which is not the same as on player when Digivolving like pop something, you know. The BT22 Gaiomon, though, it gains 5k when attack is redirected. It can unsuspend a Digimon, and it gains piercing. But again, when Digivolving, you're paying 4 memory and you're not popping anything, and you have to attack into it in order to clear a body. And the Gaiomon from BT22 also does not have blocker, just innately, right? So this is my tech choice. You could also run the one from Owen Dreadnought that came out in the set with, I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, the one that came out in the set with Medusamon. That one has Raid and Blocker, and it unsuspends when you delete an opponent's Digimon all turns. That's another possible WarGreymon. But I really like this one from BT12, and I bought the alt-arts, so I might as well play it. And for the last level 7, we are playing, well, 2 level 7s. We're playing Agumon, Bond of Bravery Ace, and then the Omnimon X antibody, of course, from BT20. These are my level 7s of choice. You can run Gallimon Crimson mode, which is what I've seen people do. But I like this guy because it is Blast Digivolve on top of level 6. But on player, when Digivolving, you can delete up to this Digimon's DP total worth of your opponent's Digimon. It's 14k, but obviously if you have the Agumon from EX10, or, well, we're not playing the EX10 Greymon, but he can technically be buffed up to 15. You can also buff him up using the Tamers. Taikamiya gives plus 2k if the attack target is redirected, and the Yuko also gives your opponent, your Digimon, plus 3k, which is really cool. So you can get him up to like 17, 19k. It's crazy because he spreads the DP across the board, so that's pretty cool. And the last thing, when attacking, if you have a Tamer, trash your opponent's top security. So sometimes they don't expect that because you trash the security on your turn and not their turn, and you can swing for game. The other thing, because I know I said last thing, he can also Digivolve on top of Agumon, just straight up Agumon for 3 cost when you have 2 or fewer securities. So again, it's kind of like a Bossmon that your opponent does not see coming. You just gotta be careful because the overflow is 5. And yeah. Last one is Omnimon X Antibody. We're not running X Antibody, but again, since his name is Omnimon, he does get the protection from the BT9 Greymon and from the Alteris mode. And he also gets all the inheritables. So he can get pretty beefy, and he's pretty much just blitz for game, to be honest, but the removal is nice, the raid and piercing is nice, and I would play 2 copies. Honestly, you could cut this, play the Crimson mode, you could play 2 Omnimons. But I like this one because, like I said, he's pretty cool, you can go for game. Okay, so these are our, no idea how to order these, our megas. For our Tamers, we are playing 3 copies of Taikamiya from the starter deck and 4 Yuko Kamishiro. So I don't like being choked. 3 Taikamiya. It's also another part of your draw engine because starting your turn, of course, you get set to 3, but all turns, when an attack target is switched, by suspending this Tamer, draw 1 card and one of your Digimon gets 2k until the end of the turn. You get the draw, you get the 2k, which is good against other decks that have big beefy bodies like Machine Dramon and of course the mirror match. And if you're playing against Omnimon, sometimes you do need the DP buff. So really good having the draw plus extra DP. And he also has Taikamiya in name, right? So you can play it with the level 4. And yeah, I really like him. I don't think there's a better memory setter. I've seen people play the old, I think it's BT1 Taikamiya that gives your Digimon sec plus 1 if it has 4 or more Digivolution cards, but I think that's bait, bro. I think that's bait. The whole point of this deck is to control the board, and I think that's what you should be doing. For our Tamers, the other Tamer, Yuko Kamishiro. I had this girl at 3. I had to bump it up to 4 because she's just so good. Starting your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. Okay, pretty good. For a 4 cost Tamer, it's kind of expensive to be, yeah, a little expensive. But the more important effect, all turns, when an attack target changes, by suspending this Tamer for the turn, your opponent's Digimon effects don't affect one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name or the CS trait, and it gets 3k DP. Now, the reason I bumped this up to 4 copies is because when I was playtesting versus Omnimon, what you can do is if you have multiple Kamishiros on the board, you can go ahead and suspend it, and you don't have to protect BlackWarGreymon Ace if you have it out. You can actually protect like a level 5 or level 4, right? Because all you need to do is meet the condition, tap it, and then you give something protection, plus 3k. But what I like to do is give 1 Digimon protection on your turn, maybe taunt them, and then you can trigger the second Kamishiro on their turn. That way your BlackWarGreymon doesn't get deleted. I love the protection. I love giving the DP buff. Like I said, it can get complicated, and you can pull off some really cool plays because you can protect different Digimon. It doesn't have to be the BlackWarGreymon Ace. And yeah, it's 4 copies mandatory. Probably should have picked up the Altarts when I had the chance, but because when I played this in BT22, I played WarGreymon, and this card was not cutting it. But the Rise Greymon, like I said, Rise Greymon plays Kamishiro for free if you have one or less Tamers. Amazing. Pretty good. I am not playing the BT12 Type Kamiya. The one when you Digivolve into Greymon or Omnimon, you gain a memory and then gives you one of your Digimon plus 1k and the blocker. It's just because I prefer the Type Kamiya from the starter deck. You can play that one if you want, but your BlackWarGreymon Ace already has blocker. The only one it really affects, honestly, is the BlackWarGreymon from the WarGreymon from BT12 and Agumon Bond of Bravery. But other than that, you know, your opponent's most likely going to fear the Ace. So I don't think you really need the blocker. But again, it's up to you. I play tested it and I didn't like it because, yeah, I give my BlackWarGreymon plus 1k, but what am I doing with the block? It already has blocker. To each their own though. You guys can play test it. I like having the memory setter because I'll always be set to 3 and I can go ahead Digivolve. I can promote my rookie, go into my level 4, go into Greymon X, and then go into the new Metal Greymon, pass my opponent over to 2, and then ace them, right? Since I taunted them. Next up, we have 4 red memory boost, 2 scramble, and 1 Hades Force. So this ends my list. The 4 red memory boosts, you can play 4 training. You can play 4 training if you want, the offense training, but I prefer the red memory boost because I like digging in deep. The whole point is to see the BlackWarGreymon Ace as soon as possible. Make sure it doesn't get bottom decked, so you can recur it with the Agumon from EX10. You can recur it with the scramble. I prefer this because I don't like bricking. And if I miss level 5, I want to search for level 5. If I'm missing the level 4, I want to search for level 4. 4 deep into your deck. I prefer the red memory boost, but again, personal preference. You can play the trainings if you want. This one I'm not so sure about. Actually, you know what? This is not bad. Not bad. 2 scramble. When scrambles first came out, I didn't really like them. But being able to bring back any piece, like stack Omnimon X Antibody in the top of your deck, if it's in trash, and then draw it for turn, it wins you the game, dude. Like, I don't know. And then you get to play a rookie if you don't have a rookie out. You can play the rookie, right? Oh yeah. So it is start of your turn. Start of your turn, you play the rookie out, EX10. Let's say you have Type Kamiya on the board. You can go ahead and get whatever piece you're missing back. Digivolve into your level 4. Digivolve into your Metal Greymon that has collision. That taunt and has collision. It gives your opponent collision. And then Digivolve into your Ace. Off the scramble and the Type Kamiya, right? As long as you have a rookie in trash. It's just crazy. I love the scramble. I love Digivolving for 1 cheaper as well, which means you can actually Digivolve into BlackWarGreymon Ace if you have the Type Kamiya out. You know, you're set to 3. You Digivolve into BlackWarGreymon without passing turn, which sometimes you don't want to do that. Obviously, you want to blast on your opponent's turn, but it is nice to be able to Digivolve into BlackWarGreymon Ace and not pass turn, right? And then if it gets deleted, you just scramble it back to the top of your deck. Say your opponent plays Nokia, pop the Nokia next turn by playing playing the BlackWarGreymon Ace that you added off the scramble. So I like the scramble. Probably gonna stay at 2 copies. Last one is the I don't know if you would say obligatory copy of Hades Force. So Hades Force obviously was a big bad menace. As you see, I'm not playing any X antibody, so this is a full 7 cost, not a 5 cost like it usually is. I will be honest with you right now. I don't know how I feel about this card staying in the deck because, well, let me read the main effect. Choose any number of your opponent's Digimon and or Tamers whose combined play costs are less than or equal to the play cost of one of your Digimon with Greymon in the name and delete all of those chosen cards. Then one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name may attack. Now the issue with this is that most of the time your highest play cost Greymon is going to be the BlackWarGreymon, which is only 7 cost. So he can only delete what, half, a little bit less than half of the level 5s in the meta. He can blow up potentially 2 Tamers, but it's not as insane as it was, like, say, with BlackWarGreymon, right? And I think BlackWarGreymon X Antibody was 13 costs, so he could blow up a lot of stuff, right? But see, like, our highest play cost Greymon in name is technically WarGreymon from BT12. It can blow up to 12 cost. So I don't know how I feel about it. Is a security bomb? and that's a good thing. And yeah, you could blow up 2 rookies. You could blow up a champion. If you're lucky, a champion and a 3-cost Tamer. But usually I find myself just deleting 1 thing off the Hades Force, and I don't want to pay 7 memory to blow up 1 thing with the Hades Force. If you're running Gaiomon, right, then obviously Gaiomon's like 13 play costs, and it makes sense to run Hades Force at that point. But right now with my build, the way I'm playing it, I kind of want to cut Hades Force. I guess technically you could Hades Force a BlackWarGreymon that would only be a 3-cost, or you could Hades Force a Beelzemon and would be a 3-cost. But yeah, it's just the 1 card in the deck that's here that I don't know what to do with. This is my list though. If you guys have a different card other than Hades Force, or you think I should keep the Hades Force, then just let me know in the comment section down below. But this is my build. This is my red base. If you want to see the black base, I can build it. Like I said, I think the only bad thing about the black base is that you can't run BT9 Greymon. You can't Greymon X antibody. You can't run the Alteris mode over here. And so your BlackWarGreymon is not going to have protection, and he can be blown up by literally anything. Anything that is not 13k or more DP. That's the only bad thing about the black base. Until Greymon X antibody from BT11 comes back to 4 copies, and you can play Proto Form, you can play the BT9 X antibody option card, I don't think black base is going to be viable, because you're trying to control the field without protection. And that's the unfortunate part, right? That's my build. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, but this is what I'm taking to locals, this is what I'm play testing. Stay tuned for Beelzemon next, because I'm also doing Beelzemon. I love that deck, and I also want to play Dark Masters. So if you guys have a Dark Masters list you guys want to share in the Discord, we can talk about it, talk about the Beelzemon builds, talk about Greymon in general. You can join the Discord. I'd be happy to have this conversation with you, and if not, in the comment section down below is great. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know. Hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe, my guy. Subscribe. I know you guys love me. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you guys can see more content, more EX10 content, and beyond. Anyways, my name is Mr. J. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.